If you're looking for strategic and an actionable business advice, then you come to the right place. Each week, we provide you with valuable information that will help you grow your practice profitably. Hi, I'm Debra.
And I'm Sabrina, and welcome to Chiropractic Purpose to Profits. We will be your guides to creating a profitable practice and an abundant lifestyle. Whether you're just starting out or have been in practice for years, we've got something for everyone. So make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you never miss an episode. So in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the income account. So this is the first of the 5 foundational accounts for the Profit First system. So what's really cool about the income account is that all your income flows in there. So it makes it really easy to see whether or not you're meeting your revenue goals right from your bank account. So you no longer have to open QuickBooks and make sure everything's updated and try to analyze your financial statements. You can just look right in your bank account and see if you're meeting this month's income goals. I know this is something that a lot of our doctors really love and that has made a really big difference in their practice. And I know it's made a big difference for our practice. It makes it a lot easier to know if you've collected on all the outstanding invoices and whether or not you're getting paid what you expected.
Yeah, that is a good way to keep track of it. The fact that you have an account that all your money goes into and no money's coming out, I think makes a really big difference for people. So I think this is probably one of the most important accounts and may be overlooked, people thinking they can blend them with other accounts.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people blend it before you start with Profit First. It's often blended with your operating expense account. So it's really hard to tell at any given time in the month if you're really meeting your income goals because the flows of the income as well as the flows of the operating expenses kind of cancel each other out, and you just really don't know. So maybe yesterday was a big collections day, but you also have a yearly bill come in. So now it looks like you didn't earn anything, and you're sitting there going, wait a second, I made all this money. I know I did. I worked really hard last week. Why am I not earning what I should be? And it's only because you're having these things cancel each other out.
You know what else, Sabrina, I've heard people use it for, which I think is pretty brilliant. You know, as accountants, we always talk about financial statements and understanding the revenue coming in and how do you do a budget. And a lot of the docs we've spoken to said, I really don't even know how to begin to do a budget. And someone said to me, which I thought was pretty interesting, they said, basically, your income account is 100% of your budget. You can't spend more than that. That's as much money as you have. So your budget can't exceed that. And in some of the later episodes, we're going to talk about where that money goes. Like, where does this, so it's in this one account. How do we move it? And what's the theory behind moving it? And we're going to go over that on one section each week over the next 5 weeks. So they'll get to see that. But when you get to the end, you'll realize, yes, I actually have a budget. It can't be more than what I put in here.
Yeah. And I think that's almost like a fundamental going back to like kindergarten or the first time you learn how to use, learning how to do your budgets when you're in, I think I was in middle school, actually. They paired us up as if we were like married. And then we had to run a budget like we were a household. And, as your first experience on how to do a budget or manage money. And it was like, we were also learning how to do negative numbers. But going back anyway, when you have an account where it's like all your money is sitting there, that's a really good image to think. You can't take more than what's in that bucket. And I think that's really a great way to think about it because a lot of times we'll make like we'll have excess cash from the ebbs and the flows of the income and the expenses. And you don't realize it before it's too late that you've spent money that was really for something else. But with the bucket of that income account and saying, well, this is all that I made, this is all that I can spend, it just changes your perspective and how you think about budgeting.
Yeah, that's really a good point. I like that advice. And I know, look, it's really important that the docs understand their finances. And this whole system, these 5 foundational accounts really make that happen without having to spend a lot of time on how this works.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely makes running a business easier. You can see on the fly what you're earning, what you're spending, and what you need to achieve. So I think one of the biggest things with accounting is that you're always in the past. So by the time you figure out what the information is, it's kind of, I mean, it's helpful, but it's kind of irrelevant because I may have already overspent the money. So by using the income account and allocating your money as it comes in and saying, no, this portion is for operating expenses, it helps tell yourself that, no, I only have so much money. And we'll talk a little bit later in the next coming weeks about each of the other accounts. But basically, you only have so many dollars in the account, in the income account. You can only allocate so many. And when that's empty, it's empty.
Yeah, that makes great sense. So, well, I think this was a great episode. I hope people recognize the importance. I hope the docs recognize the importance of knowing that keep putting all your income into one account really gives you the control you're going to need. And over the next couple of episodes, you'll see why.
And if you want to get a copy of our book, it's available on Amazon, and we'll go through more details about all the different accounts in there, as well as how you can start using the system today. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the episodes in this series.